You have to choose do or does. Only two choices. What's the best way to figure out what's right?
Use them in a sentence.
What's that?
Everyone said something. Look at the question.
If the subject is singular or plural.
If the subject is singular or plural. Okay. And if you didn't get to notice that it depended on whether it's singular or plural, if you just say it to yourself a few times, you should be able to catch it. But you know, sometimes under the pressure in the class, if you're in a rush, you just pick the wrong one. All right, do we, in the number 9, Molly and Brianna ride their bikes to school. Do we use do or does?
Do.
No. Do.
Do.
Do, yeah.
In which case would we use does?
And then third person or singular.
Singular.
Yeah.
We can use does if we have only one person riding the bike. Does Molly ride her bike to school? Now we can use does. But with 2, who was it? Molly and Brianna. If it's 2, it has to be do. Two or more, plural. What about the dogs lay on the bed? Is it do or it does?
Do.
Do.
Does.
It should be do. What can we do to the sentence to make it does?
Erase that.
It's a one dog.
One dog.
Yeah, one dog.
I mean,
One dog.
taking the
If it's one dog, we can use does. Does the dog lay on the bed? So those are the 2 that were
wrong the most.
wrong the most. Let me see. The first one, I don't really consider it wrong, but if you drove from Boston to Springfield, how do you complete the rest?
Which way? Which way
Which way would you have gone?
Will you have gone?
Will you go? I think so.
Since drove is past tense,
The first person.
would you have gone?
The choices, which way will you go? Which way,
Will you go?
which way would you go? And which way would you have gone?
Would you have gone?
No.
Why Jasmine?
Because the first person is past tense.
Is past tense?
But, oh. I think it would be the second one. Would you go? Where would you go?
Yeah, the problem with that is because of drove. Drove. If we said, if you drive from Boston to Springfield, which way would you go? Do you see how just that one letter changes the whole thing? You have to say which way would you have gone. And the reason why is because of drove. It's past. And the only choice up there is that's past. And we have to do what? When we're working with tenses, we have to maintain the same tense throughout. We can't just switch it around. So you have to keep it in the past tense. But for the most part, I think you guys did pretty good. Yeah, consider for all of us, it's been a long time since we studied those. And if you're not practicing, if you're not writing all the time, you get, you lose those things. Now this was not only, this little exercise here was not only a grammar exercise. What were you doing on the computer? What were you doing?
Quiz.
You're filling out a form.
You're filling out a form. Okay. If you have a customer who wants to buy a product or a service that's available on your website, how are you going to get contact with that customer?
You fill out a form.
They have to fill out a form. They have to tell you they were on your website. Otherwise you wouldn't know. You'll know how many people visit your website, but if they don't actually stop by and fill out a form and say, hey, I was here, I'm interested and I want to buy, you'll never know. You won't know who it is. You'll just know how many people. You might know what region they're from. You may even know as much as which windows they use, but you won't know exactly individually who it is. You won't have any contact information. One of the things in marketing is to be able to measure how effective your marketing is. You can tell that by the number of hits on your site. That means how many people visit your site. And you can also tell by how many people contact you through your website. And the only way to measure that contact is to have a form on your website. So this is one of the things that you'll be working on. I doubt you'll be ready for that today. But you do have to look at the different types of choices that you have here. You had a box that you entered information in. That means you could have put anything here. You also had to click on an arrow and go down and choose. That's called a pull-down menu. And you also had the option to select different options without pulling down. And what did you do on the bottom? Submit. You press submit. What happens when you press submit? It processes. How does it process?
You verify the information as you get it.
Verifies the information? Sometimes it would. This one actually didn't verify anything.
It just sends your answers to some database.
It sends your answers somewhere. Anybody notice where it sent your answers?
I think it probably was written on the URL or somewhere.
Where was I?
Your email?
I was in my email.
Yeah.
I was in Yahoo. So you guys right here went into my website, completed some information, gave me contact information, and when you hit submit on the bottom, I immediately had an answer or response from all of you. So that's one of the jobs as a website designer, is to not only create the form, but you have to set up where that information is going to go when you're finished. So you'd have to get that information from your, if you're working for somebody else, you know, you want their email, or a special website, web page you're going to set up that they can visit to check the answers.
And most likely that's going to be for every website because they'll want to know.
You want to be able to measure the effectiveness of your marketing. And one of the ways you can do that is through a form. Collect contact information or being able to sell your products. And how are you going to sell the products if you don't have the person's information? So the only way to get it is to collect the information using a form. How's that sound?
Good.
Very good?
Yeah.
Does everybody have an idea now, after these few weeks, which kind of products and services you might offer, if you plan to offer anything on your site? Jean Joseph, are you going to be offering a product or a service on your website?
Yeah.
Yes. What is it?
Yeah, I just said, like, stairs, something.
You're going to sell stereo equipment?
Yeah.
Okay. Who else? Jasmine, what are you going to do on your website? Are you going to sell something?
Yes.
Yes? You know what it is yet?
Not yet, but I try to work on it.
Okay, you're trying to work on it? This is the assignment for next week. And yes, we do have class next week. The following week, we will not have class. I'm canceling class on the 23rd. I won't be here. I don't know why I scheduled class on November 23rd, but I won't be here. So I want you to check on your